Oh, ho, 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 ho. What's going on? LBHT crew. B, what's going on?
What's going on, man?
Hey, it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. Hope your guys' week is going well. But if not, hopefully it starts to get better starting right now. We got a lot to talk about. We got our man Suge Knight 323 in the house. What's going on, man? I should have read it before I brought it on here. Listen, look, if you want to talk Dodgers on the overtime show, you
We
can
will
do that.
also say no.
Well, they can talk. You know, the people that come on, he can talk. Whatever. We'll sit down and just listen. But we don't talk baseball on this channel, man. Our man Derek Weatherly's in the house. What up? What's going
What's up,
on?
Derek?
Tony Hendo, what's good? What is good, man? Appreciate y'all coming through. All right, you see the headline, man. We got Panthers and Ravens
Man,
training
us too,
camp.
Tony. Appreciate it.
Favorite time of the week. That's what I'm talking about, man. Appreciate you. Yes, some training camp updates on for both teams. We have some news on could the Panthers be already looking for another quarterback? They have their eye on another quarterback. They're only in week 2 of training camp. What's going on? What's going on? Ferris says, fight, fight, fight. Oh, he's talking about his New York football Giants. We can discuss that a little bit if you want. Hey, he put in the request. He put in the request for it. All right. So we can discuss it. All right. He says Sam Darnold was whack. We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about some NBA free agency. There was a lot going on in free agency.
That's right.
So a lot to discuss. And of course, in the bonus time, yes, a lot going on. Hey, Brooklyn made a move too. Made 2 moves. Okay. That's all we needed. But we're going to discuss. We got that and anything else you guys want to talk about. But first, we got a Black History fact, and B has a Black History fact for you.
Yeah. So last week we talked a lot about the 14th Amendment, which granted citizenship to everyone born and naturalized in the U.S., which is, a big deal, a big step in civil rights. It was used or featured in a lot of civil rights cases, throughout history since that point. Tonight we're going to talk about, because tomorrow is actually the anniversary of the passage of the Voting Rights Act. So, black men got the right to vote in about around 1870. Women had to wait another 50 years, 1920, before they got the right to vote. And even with that, even with the 14th Amendment granting citizenship and protecting civil rights, in certain areas, and even with everyone having the right to vote, we're still at 1965, looking at a situation where non-white people are kind of being discouraged, disenfranchised, sometimes violently from going to the polls and voting.
Yes.
In 1964, the U.S. banned the use of poll taxes nationally, but even that in and of itself wasn't enough, right? So in 1965, we have the Voting Rights Act passed into law and signed by Lyndon Johnson, which abolished literacy tests, which is a way that they used to keep black people from voting, and also established that federal examiners were allowed to go out and actually register people to vote. And also, I mentioned the poll tax being banned nationally. Obviously, that doesn't apply to the local and state elections. So the Voting Rights Act directed the Attorney General to kind of go all over the country and challenge the use of poll tax in state and local elections. Excuse me. By the end of 1965, after the Voting Rights Act was passed, more than 250,000 black people were newly registered to vote. By the end of 1966, 9 of the 13 southern states had more than 50% of their black citizens registered to vote. So it made a big and immediate impact on voting rights in the country. And really, it is, it's just about black people in particular, but all non-white males, if we're being honest, having a say in the future of the country and the way that the country is shaped, right? The anniversary of that is coming up later this week, so we just wanted to highlight that. And here we are, some 56 years later, And despite all of that, we still have the Panthers ignoring my calls to draft Justin Fields and going with Sam Darnold instead. So honestly, I think we can ask, how much progress have we really made? Right?
Excellent segue. We are going, you know what? And we're going to start it off with some Panthers training camp talk. All right. Look, you guys know we cover Ravens and Panthers on this channel. B is a diehard Panthers fan. Okay. And it was good times when Cam Newton was there, man. It was great times. Okay. And new owner came, new regime, and they decided, let's get rid of Panthers legend and make way for right now Sam Darnold. Yeah. But look, training camp is underway. Look, there's a lot to discuss. We got to discuss. I mean, we did a video on kind of breaking down earlier week 1. We're starting week 2 of training camp for them, and there's some position battles. There's some highs and lows, every training camp. Mm-hmm. And there's also a rumor going out there. So where do we want to start this?
We got Shug asking, we talk about the Steelers and Giants. We'll see,
yeah,
Shug.
Yeah. Okay. We'll there's a Hall of Fame game tomorrow. We'll get to that.
So in Carolina, I mean, look, Sam Darnold has been in the league for 3 years. He's been a bad quarterback for 3 years. Like, that's not surprising, right? He's been inaccurate. He's been a poor decision maker, right? For 3 years. Mm. And that's exactly what we're seeing in Panthers camp. Now, the problem here is that it's not all on Sam Darnold, because the other thing that we're seeing is the O-line is absolute garbage. Like, it is awful. Yeah. They have one established starter. I mean, I guess 2 if you count Paradis, but he's not that great. So, I mean, they have one good offensive lineman. And that's right tackle Taylor Moton. And there's no idea who's playing left tackle, no idea who's playing left guard, no idea who's playing right guard. And, there was some news that kind of leaked out that we're going to talk about a little bit later that kind of hints to the fact that even the team currently, the coach and the GM, don't really believe in Sam Darnold as much as our friend Garnett West does. Okay? Yeah,
he believes in Sam. J Will 501, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through. He had a question. Oh, go ahead. Oh, that's Davon. What's going on, Davon? Hashtag LBHT crew. I see you. J Will 501 wants to know, what's up? Do you think Omar Bayless will make the Panthers roster? I say definitely.
I think it depends. It depends on how many wide receivers they're going to keep.
He's been having a really good camp. I think he makes
if they're keeping 6, I think he's on the team. And I expect him to keep at least 6. But if for whatever reason they keep fewer than that, if they keep 5 receivers, then he'll be out, unfortunately. But I do think that he'll make it ultimately. Yeah. Really, really like. I mean, he was having a great camp last year as well, and he got hurt and missed the season. So it's great to see him having another good camp, and I do think he'll make the roster and have that opportunity.
Ferris, I see you, man. Look, Davon puts hashtag LBHT crew, and you're like, well, I want attention too. Let me put that in there. I got you though, Ferris. I got you.
What's up, King of Pugo? Appreciate you stopping in, man.
King of Pugo, what's going on, man? While at work, that's what I'm talking about, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate that, brother. Jonathan Washington says, what's up, fellas? My Bulls on the come up, but how y'all feeling? Man, we're going to talk about the Bulls. We're going to talk something. When we talk NBA free agency, the Bulls made some strong moves.
I really, really like what the Bulls are doing. I hate to admit it, but I do think that the Knicks are one of the top teams in free agency as well, like Ferris was saying. I think it's honestly the Bulls, Knicks, and obviously I'm going to say the Lakers. The Lakers have done a great job with their.
Well, hold on. Save it for the NBA segment. Save it for the NBA. Save it for the NBA segment. Okay. All right. We got to keep them around, B. But yes. So
Garner asking, is Omar Bayless James Proche?
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to sound contradictory because James Proche is not making.
The answer is
he's
no,
not making
because Omar's making the team.
He's not James Proche. Omar Bayless is more athletic. I think he's a little bit more polished. I mean, he gets we don't even have to go to the physical part of it. He just gets more separation than James Proche. Okay, James Proche is not separating. He has excellent hands. We already knew that. We knew that from college, but that's about it. Right, his route running is, I guess, okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it's polished, right, or it's definitely not great. And wide receiver or defenders, DBs, just hang all over him. So yes, he can make contested catches. That's nice if you're a tight end. All right.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing you can do. So no, he's not Proche in any way.
Right.
I think Omar Bell and he's proved it 2 years in a row. I think he's definitely gonna make the team. Proche, I don't think we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I almost changed my opinion because there was a fake Ravens account out there saying they cut Miles Boykin. I was like, oh my God. But
hey, listen. We look, if we're wrong, we're wrong. We're not gonna make any excuses. I'll be happy for Proche. I root for every Ravens player that's on the team. I just don't think he's gonna make it. But anyway, back to the Panthers. Yes, Omar Bayless. I say he's in.
Yeah, I think so.
So, okay, what's the problem with the O-line, though? So, Cam Ervin, to be fair, Cam Ervin is, from what I heard, he's having a solid camp. I didn't see what he did today. I heard he's had a solid camp. So, that's your starting left tackle, it appears to be, right? What are you shaking your head at, man?
I'm shaking my head at Cam Ervin being a starting left tackle in the NFL. That's what I'm shaking my head at. And by the way, there's talk out there about Taylor Moton maybe moving to left, and he has indicated that he's open to that. I'm not sure if we talked about it on this show or if it was in the overtime or what, but honestly, I think he'd be a fool to move to left tackle. You just signed an extension as a right tackle, making about $18 million a year. Do not let them turn around and tell you to play left tackle.
The only way I would say do that is if I would be cool with him doing that is if he went to left tackle, played about 6 games or so, played really well, and said, "Look, redo my deal now, or I'm retiring. I'm retiring. I'm not playing another snap for you until you give me left tackle money." But no, I mean, I think honestly, he's probably open to that because he's probably thinking, yeah, I'll play left tackle this year. I'll ball out. And then what's going on, click one? And then in the offseason, I'm going to hold out. And if you ball out left tackle, right, like, what are they going to say? No? They're not going to say no.
Carolina would. They don't care about protecting their quarterback. And that's really where the issue comes in. Because, okay, maybe you believe in Sam Darnold. They don't, but maybe they believe in Sam Darnold, right? So we pass on Justin Fields. We don't think he's going to be a franchise quarterback. Early returns are saying you're wrong. Hindsight, or take back in, April and May said you're wrong too. But he's looking great in Chicago. But okay, you believe in Sam. That's your guy. You still made the wrong pick by not taking Rashawn Slater.
Yeah.
At 8, who is apparently looking great protecting Justin Herbert.
Yeah. Okay, they made the mistake for sure. They made that mistake. But can they be a playoff team?
No, I didn't realize you. I thought that was rhetorical. No,
yeah.
they have a bad quarterback and a bad O-line.
The O-line, I haven't heard much about the interior O-line in camp. Haven't heard much, but that's one of those things. O-line is tough to gauge because usually if you don't hear anything about the O-line, they're doing their job, right? That's when games are happening. But in practice, in training camp, it's hard to determine because O-lineman may not necessarily be giving up a block, but he may not have great technique either. He might be doing some things wrong, but just hasn't been exposed quite yet. And that's where your evaluators have to come in. That's where the coaching staff has to go and evaluate these players and say, yeah, he'll hold up. No, he won't hold up or whatever. Yeah. But to be fair, I haven't heard anything from the interior O-line. And Moton is fine. So if the interior O-line holds up, I think that would greatly improve your chances.
But here's the problem with the interior O-line. Okay, Paradis, he's been a disappointment. He was a big-time free agent addition a couple years ago. Has not lived up to that. But I'm not saying he's like the worst center in the league or anything. He's fine, whatever. John Miller's not very good at right guard. He was a starter at right guard last year. They brought him back. Left guard, Pat Elflein is a disaster. And you've also got a couple of rookies in Brady Christensen and Deontay Brown, who are kind of in the mix. The right guard spot as well. I don't think, it's not like they're handing that to John Miller, but those guys are in the mix, and it's just they haven't looked great. And I think that Deontay Brown was a good pick. I think that Brady Christensen was a good pick if you're playing him at guard. but they're rookies. Christensen was a 3rd-round pick. Deontay was a 6th-round pick, and you can't expect them to hit the ground running. No. I know what Ravens fans are thinking right now hearing that. Yes, you got Ben Cleveland, and he's looking great. So yeah, and it happens sometimes, right? But that you can't be expecting that going into guys' rookie season.
Yeah, and I see Garnett's question here. Didn't we just go over the schedule? Because, yes, Garnett in the overtime show predicted the Panthers to make the playoffs. So we went game by game through the schedule, and I believe he had the winning 10 games, which could get them to the playoffs. I just don't see 10 games, man. And if you've seen some of these practices, if you guys want to see, if any of you Panthers fans want to see what they're looking like in real time, go to Panthers Nation podcast. Every day, Rashad is out there filming the whole thing. He's out there for the whole practice. So go Panthers Nation podcast. He's out there. He's taping the whole thing, and you will see.
Every day, Rashad is out there shaking his head at Sam Darnold and whispering, "What was that?"
Darnold had a good day today. He did have a good day today. And look, if you're gonna if you have some things that you need to iron out, this is the time to do it, right? So if you're gonna look bad, you want to look bad now, fix it, and then get into the regular season and hopefully you play well. The problem is all we've seen from Sam Darnold is bad play.
Yeah.
And the mistakes that he's making in practice are what we've been seeing his whole career, right? Especially under pressure. That's the problem. It's a compounded problem because he doesn't play well under pressure. He panics. And this is an O-line that doesn't seem like it can protect him.
To be fair, he doesn't play well from a clean pocket either. He was the lowest rated quarterback in the league from a clean pocket. So he just doesn't play well. Yeah. But yes, he's in a situation now where they have great skill talent because that's the positive, right? I mean, I've heard Terrace Marshall is having a good time at practice. I mean, he had some drop issues early, but he's been looking good.
Yeah.
You have Robbie Anderson already, who we know can play. You have DJ Moore, who's one of the better receivers in the league. Christian McCaffrey is back. They signed up Dan Arnold at tight end. I mean, not a great tight end, but a good, solid tight end. They drafted Tommy Tremble. I think he's kind of been looking a little up and down, but obviously you got to give these guys time. Yeah. But they've got great surrounding talent, except they can't protect him. So I don't see how he really rises above what he was doing in New York.
Now, so that's that. I mean, and that's going to tie into our next story. I'll tease it a little bit, but I kind of want to highlight a couple more players before we move on to the story. But this ties into our story with the Panthers still keep an eye on Deshaun Watson. So we'll talk about that in a second real quick, and then we'll get into some Ravens talk. I know you guys, I see the questions. I see them. But yeah. So also Ravens fans, your ears might perk up for this because I know a lot of people wanted this guy, Terrace Marshall.
Yes, Jay, they do.
Yes, they play each other in preseason. Terrace Marshall, a Ravens fans' favorite target before the draft, was drafted by the Carolina Panthers, and he has not looked good.
That's not fair. He's had some good days. He's had some. He looks like a rookie early on.
He looks like a rookie,
but he's had some good days. And what's crucial for him, I think, is that he doesn't have that pressure to come in and be a number one wide receiver.
Yep.
You've got two established wide receivers in Anderson and DJ Moore, and even if you want to count Christian McCaffrey because he catches the ball a lot. So he can just come in and they can bring him along at his own pace. There's no pressure there. You all know I wasn't really high on Terrace Marshall, but if they can bring him along slowly and he knows Joe Brady's offense, that was his coach at LSU, he'll be fine.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's the key thing. He doesn't need to. He's not ready to go out there and compete for a number one, number two spot, but he doesn't have to. He can develop. Now, had the Ravens drafted him, and we're expecting number one wide receiver play, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. And J.C. Horn is looking like he's definitely gonna be a Pro Bowler. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right now. I think he's a lot to make the Pro Bowl. He looks like the real deal. I think it was a bad pick, right? Because you needed a quarterback or O lineman, but he is the real deal.
That was kind
man
of our mantra for the Ravens last year, right? Good player, bad pick.
Yes. So and that defense, I mean, everybody on defense is looking good. Everybody's looking good. The defense is going to be a top 10 defense for sure.
I think so, yeah. I'll never steer you guys wrong. Bateman was the chosen one.
That's
okay.
Right.
Okay, all right, man.
Go off in Joe Brady's car system.
We're trying to be kind of optimistic here, but all right. Thank you, Ferris.
Yeah. So real quick, let's talk about story that I teased. Let's talk quick Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Let me bring that up.
Yeah. So I mentioned the fact that we know that the Panthers don't really believe in Sam Darnold. And that's because they're still keeping tabs on Deshaun Watson and still apparently thinking about trying to make a move for him. So why'd you bring in Sam Darnold? Why'd you trade 3 draft picks, including a second-round pick, for Sam Darnold if you're still looking to bring in a long-term solution? And if you wanted a long-term solution, why didn't you just draft Justin Fields? So and this is what we got into in the overtime show with Garnett and Caleb. Listen, they're a poorly run team. They are an incompetent franchise. Because that's what incompetent franchises do, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, yes, they're clearly making some moves that make you say, like, what are they doing? And you have to understand, man, I've said it how many times on the show, probably about, I would say at least half of the league has, in the front office and coaching staff, you have people that just don't know what they're doing. And when they make these moves that make you scratch your head and like, like, what is that? And you're thinking, well, they know better than I do. Sometimes a lot of times they don't know. They just don't know. Right. What I see, especially from Tepper, is a man who wanted to come in. He was a part owner of the Steelers. He spent all the time when Ben Roethlisberger was there. Big Ben was the face of the Steelers, and he came to Carolina saying, "I want that same thing over here. I don't want it with Cam, right?" And he didn't want to start over necessarily with a rookie. Yeah. And what's going on, Zeke Kaga? Appreciate you coming through. So that's why he was aggressive. He tried to get Matt Stafford. He tried to sign Matt Stafford. That he didn't. That fell through.
They talked to what's his name over in Pittsburgh, Dwayne Haskins.
They talked to Dwayne Haskins.
There was some talk about Mitchell Trubisky. Like they were just going down the list, and they didn't get any of the guys that they were looking at, and they landed on Sam Darnold.
But it was reported from then like they were going to go aggressively after Deshaun Watson. So that's who they wanted, and then all these allegations came up with Deshaun, and we're still kind of sitting around waiting to see what's going to happen with that. And it's it hasn't been a lot of talk on it, but it's starting to seem like maybe there might be some settlements. Maybe maybe he might face like a 2-game suspension or something like that. But it looks like it's going to be one of those things where he's going to continue to play football and kind of put this behind them somewhat. And if that's the case, they're still interested. Because Sam Darnold, even though they gave was a 2nd-round pick for Sam Darnold?
A 2nd, a 4th, and a 6th.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a bad organization and you don't really first of all, I don't value picks that much anyway. But like they don't care. They're willing to give that up for 1 or 2 years, just somebody just a placeholder. I think they look at Sam Darnold as a placeholder. If he plays well, that's fine. That makes sense. Problematic QB in Pittsburgh and QB wants. Yes.
Settle down, Ferris. All right.
Yeah. But I think if Sam Darnold turns it around, then okay, fine. We got a guy that we can keep. He's young, he looks the part, and it's all good. If he's not, that's fine. We're keeping an eye on the Deshaun Watson case anyway. And also, I told you before, I think they're looking at Aaron Rodgers too. Aaron Rodgers is going to finish this year in Green Bay, and then he's going to look elsewhere. I don't be surprised if the Deshaun Watson thing falls through, that they don't put all their attention onto Aaron Rodgers.
And then definitely don't be surprised when Aaron says, "No, stop calling me."
Yeah, but he wants to make a big splash. He doesn't want to start over. And man, had they gotten Justin Fields is looking really good right now, guys.
It was the easy call, right? And there's no bigger splash. I mean, look, obviously Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. Deshaun Watson is Deshaun Watson, right? But you make a huge splash in the NFL by drafting a quarterback in the first round, at the top of the first round. You take Justin Fields at 8, and every single Panthers fan is rushing to their computer or their phone to order a Justin Fields jersey, and they're hopping online talking about how they're going to win 7 Super Bowls in the next 15 years. Okay?
Yeah. Darius said it when he was drafted. Horn might be the top CB in the cornerback in the class, but you won't reach the top 10 pick. Yeah. You don't reach. Yeah, I agree. It's a reach.
If they had an O-line and they had a quarterback, go ahead and take J.C. Horn. Whatever.
Yeah. The first thing you got to do if you have the opportunity to get your quarterback is get your quarterback. I'm hearing a lot of people out there say, hey, you don't need a great quarterback to win a Super Bowl. You need either a pretty damn good quarterback or a pretty damn good team all around.
Yeah, you either have to have a great quarterback or your team has to be unbelievably stacked throughout the rest of the roster, like the Eagles.
Right.
And you see, like with the Eagles, you cannot sustain it that way. So you can win, but you can't sustain that. That's why you want to get the quarterback.
Yeah. Jeremiah, what's going on? Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Steeler next year. Watch, I said it first. Okay. All right.
What is up, Noah?
Noah, what's going on, man? He said, LBHT crew, what's up, family? Just want to stop by and say what's up. Hey, appreciate you coming through, man. We ain't forgot about you, man. Appreciate you coming through. Thanks for coming through to the live stream. Our guys from Off the Record are in the house. What's going on? Appreciate you coming through.
What's up?
Yeah.
So, but overall, I mean, I think that, you're kind of seeing what you expected in Carolina. The O-line is awful. Sam Darnold's not looking great. But, to put a positive spin on it, he does have a big arm. He can make great throws, just, not consistently. And he is a very athletic guy. He can avoid pressure. Unfortunately, he's going to have to do it a lot this year. That's kind of the thing. And like you said before, on defense, they're looking great.
Yeah.
The secondary was the weakness. Arguably they have one of the top front sevens in the league right now. They added Hassan Reddick to it. They added some more depth pieces along the line. And so, but then you look in the secondary and they've got Jeremy Chin, who was a playmaker last year. And they went out and they added AJ Bouye, who's out with injury right now and is going to miss the first couple of weeks with suspension. What's up, Sterling?
So Sterling.
So they added him. And they again, like we mentioned, they added J.C. Horn in the draft, who's looking really good so far. So I expect it to be a top defense and really struggle on offense.
I think that offense is going to be very hot and cold because they do have a lot of talent. Mm-hmm. And there'll be some games where you're like, damn, they put up 40 points, man. They could, they might be a little dangerous. And then those have some duds, especially playing in NFC South where you got to play Tampa Bay twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
But you also play the Falcons twice a year, so it's a mixed bag.
Jay Will's asking how does Jeremy Chin look? Look, I mean, honestly, he's looked like Jeremy Chin, right? Like the camp is not really for guys like him. You kind of know what you're getting from him, and that's what he's been showing so far. It's not a huge deal what we see from him in camp because he's going to be all around the ball all day long when the season starts.
Justin Burns is looking solid, looking pretty solid as well.
We'll see. We'll see. We want to move on to the Ravens camp here, but we also want to mention real quick the issue that happened in Carolina the other day. They had a safety, JT, I believe it's Ibe, laid out Keith Kirkwood coming over the middle. Kind of hit him in the head. I don't know if I don't think he knocked him unconscious, but he was down for about 12 minutes. They had to stop practice. They took him out in an ambulance, kicked eBay off the field, and then later cut him. Keith Kirkwood was all right. I mean, he had a concussion, so not all right, but he was back at the facility a little later that day. And like I said, they released eBay. He put out a kind of an apology, kind of owning what he did and saying, he made a mistake and he'd reached out to Kirkwood and made sure he was all right and everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's unfortunate. It's one of those things. It happens at every camp, but when you have somebody that you're going to cut, that's the perfect time to set an example, right? That's just what it is. He was somebody they made an example out of. So,
What's up,
Ravens flock? What's going on? Big trust. That's right. All right, we're gonna get into some. We can get into some Ravens talk in just a second. But first, we are halfway through the show, and if you're new here, take a minute to hit that like button. If you're enjoying our content, consider subscribing. All right. And if you're a regular, like all you guys here in the chat, man, I see attitude popping here. What's going on? Felipe Moreno, appreciate you coming through. All right. Consider supporting the show. It goes a long way. And I'll give you a couple ways to support the show right now. First one is right above me, patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right. We got 2 tiers, $3 tier and $10 tier. We changed up the benefits. B, help me out here. What's
so the $3 tier will get you into the NFL Survivor League. If you don't know what that is, you just pick one team every week. If that team wins, you advance. If they lose, you're out. You can only pick a team one time per season, and just the last person standing wins. We're going to be sending out a trophy for that, and you also get access to the overtime show, which we do every week right after the live show. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And for the $10 tier, we got a nice shiny coin. Do you have the coin?
Of course I have my coin. I'm not you.
Do you have my coin? Do you have my coin? B took my coin, guys. He stole it. I think there's like 2 left of those, man. Those are limited. And after that, that's all, folks. We have something else in store for you down the road, but that's it on the coins for now. The second way, actually, one is right above B. $ LBHT Show. That's our Cash App. If you're looking for a super chat, right? If you're trying to donate through super chat, we don't do super chats over here. That's how we do super chat, is through Cash App and Streamlabs. B, can you drop the link to Streamlabs in the comment when you have a moment?
Yes.
I'm gonna pin a comment. It's a link to our Streamlabs. That's what you can use for a super chat. You leave a donation, you leave a comment, and we will read it on air. Same thing with the Cash App. All right. Those really go a long way towards helping the show. What's going on, Caleb? Appreciate it. Yeah, Caleb got his coin. That's right. Yeah, he got his coin. Yeah. All right. Jerome Bigby said he got his coin the other day. Man, that's what's up, man. Hey, and you know what? If you guys,
nice. Thank you, Jerome. We appreciate you, man.
If you guys have an Instagram account or on Twitter, right above the Patreon banner, that's all of our social media information at LBHT Show. Okay, post your picture of the coin and tag us, or send it to us. Whatever you want to do. All right, and of course, if you do you like the gear? Lunch break hot take. You like what B's wearing? Man, we got all kinds of goodie in our merch store. Man, we got all kinds. LBHTshow.com/shop. That's where you go to get some awesome gear like that. Look at that. You like that? Oh, look at that. Sun's out, guns out. LBHT crew shirt. Okay. Get some stuff like that. Get yourself some shorts so you can show off those nice muscular legs like this fella right here. All right. What else we got here? We got a cap. Okay. We got a lot of stuff in that store. We got a lot of stuff. Okay, we got the new LBHT crew mug. So if you see anything that you like, go ahead and purchase, man. It goes right back to the show. We're always working on things over here to make the show as good as possible. So, all right. So with that, let's get into some.
Sterling's asking if the hoodies are pullover only. I believe all the ones on the site are. I'm going to check if they have any zip ups available, though.
Yeah. Did we still have the hoodies on there, or did we take those off?
They're still up. They're just not featured.
Okay.
Jeremiah said he's going to get his coin on payday. Got a baby in the house, man. Congratulations.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, man. I've got him on a budget.
hey, you know what? That's okay. If you can't support financially, you guys being here helps a lot, man. We really appreciate it. Just, share it out. Tell your friends, just showing up to these live streams and just watching the videos is more than enough, man. We appreciate everybody. So don't feel like you have to spend money to watch the show. The show is for free.
Yeah.
All right.
And I want to say, just personally, I want to say thank you to everybody out there, because I know I know y'all don't care about the Panthers, but you all were very patient when we went through the Panthers training camp.
Man, listen.
We're gonna get into the Ravens right now.
we have a very heavy Ravens fan base for sure. But man, like, B loves Panthers. We're going to talk Panthers. But even in the offseason, we didn't talk a whole lot of football. We gave you a little bit here and there to keep you guys coming through to the show, but we talked a lot of NBA. You guys were with it. We talk USC, we talk boxing. You guys show up. So thank you very much. Like, we really appreciate it. So yeah, man, and we're going to continue to grow. So all right, it is time. Let me find it here. Ravens training camp. Okay, you guys have been posting your questions in the comments from the beginning of the show. Go ahead and post them. We're going to be talking Spirit of Justice. What's going on?
The Panthers are life.
Panthers are life. That's what I'm talking about.
Loses, we care. Thank you. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, man. Look, more and more Panthers fans are coming through. All right, and it's only going to get bigger. So yeah, man. If you're new and you're a Panthers fan, just keep showing up here, man. Leave your comments and stuff like that. It matters because we're going to keep putting out that content for you guys. All right. So where do we start with the Ravens? I see some people talking about James Proche, some people talking about Owe. All of them are looking good. So let's start. We'll say the Proche for last because I feel like that's gonna that's gonna drag into something else.
Okay.
So let's start on the defensive side. Odafe Owe has looked really good in practice, and I'm glad about that because
while you're talking about that, I'm just gonna put this on screen. So there we go.
I want to keep talking Panthers. Justice for Brodny. You don't want us to get to the Giant story. That's what you want. But yeah, I'm happy for Owe, and I hope he continues to show out. I hope he can show us something in the preseason and hopefully in the regular season. I want him to be every bit as good as we hope he will be. Yeah. So that's a good thing. So there's no hate coming over from me over here, man. Like I'm happy for that. But I gotta point out. Okay, he's been beating up on Alejandro Villanueva, and I'm just saying the guys that you've been making fun of, Sack Daddy. Okay, you've been calling him every other name other than Sack Daddy. He's also had some success against Villanueva.
Yeah.
So I mean, is it that these guys are looking really good, or is it Villanueva, who's never played right tackle before, just looking
never good? Played right tackle, and also wasn't really that great at left tackle recently. So
right, but particularly at right tackle, Greg Roman said that he's starting to develop more as a right tackle. Like he's starting to find his place. So I can't remember the exact quote, but basically, he doesn't look good. Yeah. He doesn't look good. And my problem is, why'd you get a guy, especially in Villanueva, who's past his prime, right?
Why's it got to be like that, Tony?
Sack Duddy. Okay, yeah, Sack Duddy was getting it in on Villanueva too. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Why'd you waste time getting a guy who never played a position and you weren't sure could play the position, right? And you didn't draft a tackle. It's okay. It's one thing if we drafted a tackle and said, hey, like this guy we think can come in and start. And you push him to be a starter, maybe Villanueva kind of battles, you have a little camp battle right there, or Villanueva is just a rotational tackle. Then that's something different. But now, I mean, Ronnie Stanley's out, Villanueva doesn't look good, Tyree Phillips does not look good. And we have an undrafted free agent that I forget his name. Ely. Yeah. Ely. They're saying, he's a favorite to make the team. He's definitely making the team, man. He's definitely making the team. We don't have anybody else in. We're doing the same thing we did last year where we only had 3 tackles on the team. All right. And as soon as Ryan Stanley went down, then it's just like, well, what do we do? We're moving Tyree Phillips, who was a guard, at tackle, and that didn't work. Like we're trying to shift around, and it looks like it's doing the same thing this year. Tyree Phillips is still being tried out at every other position. So clearly you don't have a guy that you feel comfortable with playing tackle, either him or Villanueva. So what's our plan?
Here's Suge's plan.
Steelers, right? Yeah, Steelers fans right now smiling. They know. He's just look, guys. I'm gonna be real with you. He's not good.
Yeah.
All right. So the O line is a definite concern. But bright side, Ben Cleveland, they said he's looking really good. Mm-hmm. He's looking really good. So this first preseason game is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as we move into the next phase, which is, talking about the receivers and everything, I'm glad that Attitude Pop came here and posted this comment. Marlon's starting to look suspect. He's getting burned and mossed by Deshaun Kane. Yeah, he's giving up plays to every receiver in Baltimore. Now, and everybody's celebrating it, right? Like Proche's getting catches. Bateman beat him for a touchdown. I believe Boykin at one point beat him for a touchdown. Deshaun Kane beat him for a touchdown. And you got to stop and ask yourself, are these great receivers? And Marlon Humphrey isn't as good as we thought? Or is he just not going full speed? Right? Because we know who Marlon Humphrey is. We've seen Marlon Humphrey in actual games shutting down actual great receivers.
Yeah.
Right. And now in training camp, we got these. I mean, look, I don't want to be disrespectful, but it ain't Julio and AJ Brown out there on the Ravens practice field, right? Right. So you got these guys who are beating him, but how hard is he really trying?
Yeah. Hey B, did you post that link?
I did. I put it in the chat.
Okay, I see it. Let me pin it real quick. I want you guys hit up these Streamlabs. Look, the comments are hot in here. Okay, the comments are hot. If there's a comment you really want us to get to, you don't want us to miss it, hit up that Streamlabs right there, or hit up the Cash App. We're gonna read as many comments as we can, but when we're doing our takes, we're not gonna be able to get to everything. Manuel's COD channel, Call of Duty. You a Call of Duty guy? I think is both not going full and these wide receivers getting great. It could be a combination of both. It's definitely Marlon Humphrey is not giving 100%. Like there's nothing wrong with Marlon Humphrey whatsoever. He doesn't need to. Well, you don't want him to go 100% in practice. You already know what he could do.
Yeah, like Garnett says, the defense as a whole and secondary is letting up. Yeah, you
Absolutely.
Want the offense to be able to build some confidence. Right? Like the offense isn't great. Lamar's not out there. Ronnie Stanley's not out there. Hollywood hasn't been out there. Like you're going up against, something of a second team offense, and you don't want what is one of the best defenses in the league just going out there and crushing them every day.
Yeah, you get nothing out of that.
What's up,
What's going on, Godson? You want to get some good reps from when you're in practice, and you can't do that if this team is, that defense is completely just shutting them down. Because if you look at the defense, there aren't that many positions up for grabs, so they don't need to go that hard, right? It's the offense that, that offense. The offense has to really show out. The defense just needs to stay healthy. And speaking of, Z the Beast, what's going on? Appreciate you coming through. That's what I'm talking about, man. I love seeing you guys show up here, man. What's up, guys? Thank you for letting everyone know it's training camp and Marlo is a future Hall of Fame trajectory. Yeah, he is. Yep. Hit that like button for sure.
I gotta say, I love calling him Marlo. I love that. I've watched The Wire multiple times. That's my show. I love it. Yeah. Garnett says Ben Cleveland looks super slow and stiff. He doesn't need to be athletic on the inside. Yeah, I've heard he's having some issues in pass protection, which again, we should probably expect that going into the season. But as a run blocker, which is unfortunately the majority of what he's going to be doing, he's been looking pretty good, and that's a guy who I look at and I say, yeah, struggling a little bit in pass protection, and by the time the season rolls around, he'll be fine. He'll be all right.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got to keep an eye on it, and we'll see. But I wouldn't worry too much about him right now.
Yeah, and I wonder who. Look, one of the bands has got to go, right? It's going to be. Ben Cleveland staying, Ben Bredesen, Ben Powers. One of those guys, man. They got to be on the bubble, right?
I think Ben Bredesen is.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think Ben Powers is going anywhere. I think they'll try to sneak Bredesen onto the practice squad again.
Okay. So yeah. Center, Bradley Bozeman, I guess. Tough Puppy says Bredesen's good. I haven't heard anything from Bredesen, to be honest. I haven't heard much. And again, it's one of those things where you don't really know with O-linemen sometimes. If you don't hear their name, you don't know if they're having a good camp or a bad camp. So we just got to wait and see. I just know that after drafting Bredesen, Powers, Phillips, they still went out and got Ben Cleveland. So they're clearly not happy with what they've seen from these guys.
And we did get a donation from my guy Shug. He said, here to support my favorite sports podcast. Just wanted to let Jose know I'm playing Apex right now.
Apex. Okay. Okay. Appreciate that, man. Man, because Shug is a multitasker. Okay. That's what he does. Yes. All right. Just make sure when you're cursing at the screen, don't curse our way. All right.
What's up, Jason?
What's up, Jason, man? Appreciate you coming through.
So yeah, man. We should jump into James Proche here.
Okay,
we also want to get to the NBA free agency a little bit before the end.
Yeah,
James Proche is not making the team. Happy for James Proche that everybody say he's having a great camp, a great first week of camp. But I mean, obviously
you didn't even let me post my banner.
My bad. My bad.
Will James Proche make the team?
Listen, so my thing with James Proche is the Ravens had one of the worst receiving corps in the league last year, right? One of the worst. And he couldn't get on the field as a receiver. Couldn't.
Yeah.
He got on the field as a punt returner, and he wasn't even great at that. At the end of the season, he was inactive for a couple of games, and they just gave that to Devin Duvernay because, they just needed somebody else active. And they're like, yeah, we don't need James, right? And now Baltimore brought new receivers. Those guys he couldn't beat out last year are still there, and they brought in 3 new receivers. And I'm supposed to think that he's making the team and making an impact?
Guys, just soak that in for a minute. They drafted Hollywood and Boykin 3 years ago, right? Hollywood and Boykin. Then they drafted Duvernay and Proche. And then they drafted Bateman and Wallace and brought in Sammy Watkins off the street this year. He's a Hall of Famer. 3 new wide receivers on the team this year. You really think James Proche is making this team? Okay. Proche, he's doing that thing that tricks a lot of people, right? He's having a good camp. He looks good, making catches or whatever, but he's not. What's his role going to be? Let me ask. Let me rephrase that. What do you think his role is going to be if he makes this team? As a 6th wide receiver, he'll probably be the 6th wide receiver. He's not a game breaker, right? It's not like he can take one to the house. It's not like he's going to beat anybody deep. A possession wide receiver? Don't need that. There are guys that can do that.
So, I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat saying Proche over Boykin. And nobody likes Miles Boykin, and that's unfortunate. I understand that. He hasn't been very good. Mm-hmm. Why couldn't Proche play over Miles Boykin last year?
Right. What is it you think he can do that Boykin can't? Better hands? Okay, that's great. And I know people make jokes about Boykin's blocking, but did you forget what team we're talking about? They value blocking more than anything.
They run the ball more than 100, about 100 times more than the number 2 team in the league.
They absolutely want wide receivers that can block, and he can block really well. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Boykin ain't going anywhere. I think
Tough probably says he can actually catch. When are they ever going to throw him the ball, Tough? When?
Right.
Okay, so we've got Rashad Bateman, who you all love. You got Hollywood, who you all love. Sammy Watkins, who everybody thinks is going to blow up. You got Mark Andrews, who's going to go out there and get his 600 to 800 yards. You got Devin Duvernay, who you all loved last year. You all love
Devin Duvernay. How come nobody's talking about Duvernay? Yeah.
You got Tylan Wallace, who you just drafted. When is Tough Puppy? Oh, not Tough Puppy. When is
Tough Puppy? When's Tough Puppy going to get on the field, B?
That is a question, too. Like, when are you going to give Tough Puppy the ball? But when are you ever going to throw the ball to James Proche?
Right. Guys, you can't love everybody, man. We do this. Every fan base does this. Everybody can't make the team.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you, Living Legend. Living Legend. We got a little bet going on Living Legend too. What were we even talking about? I forget. Justin Houston. All right, let's talk about Justin Houston. All right, let's talk about Justin Houston. Justin Houston. I'll even make a band for this. So yeah. Apparently, I offended a lot of you guys, or B offended you. I didn't even say it. I just defended B. When he said that Justin Houston is just a guy. Like, he's an all right guy. He's nothing great. And our friend Living Legend here had an issue with that. He said, "Hey man, my guy had 8 sacks last year. He had 8 sacks. All right, eight of them. What are we talking about? Like, that's more than everybody on the team." And look, we're trying to explain to you, man. Sacks don't tell the whole story, obviously. All right. And you're looking at a guy who's been sitting in free agency this whole time, settling for a 1 year, $1 million deal. I mean, up to $4 million if you hit all of his incentives. But at max, a $4 million deal. A solid pass rusher would never take that deal.
No.
So, yes, there have been some reports that he's turned down other deals. But I'm going to ask you guys before the Justin Houston defenders start hitting up the chat, how much do you think those other deals were? Do any of you think he got a $20 million deal? No, I'm going to say $23 million deal. And I say $23 million because that's what JJ Watt got. He got $23 million guaranteed. Did he get $23 million guaranteed deal out there and he turned it down for a $1 million deal to go to the Ravens? I want you guys to answer that question.
Yeah. And while y'all are thinking about that, I want to say thank you to our guy Shug, just signing up for the Patreon. We appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, Shug. Thank you very much, brother. Felipe says $12 million. You think he got offered $12 million and he took a $1 million deal?
This is where I'm at. And what's up, Alex? Thanks for coming through.
Thank you.
At max, $1 to $2 million more. And I fully believe that, right? I fully believe he got a couple million more in other offers and said, the Ravens are the best team who made me an offer. I think I can make an impact here. I think I can win a Super Bowl here. I'm going to take less and go play in Baltimore. I absolutely believe that. But he wasn't getting offers as if he was still 2014 Justin Houston. He wasn't getting offers as if he were even, Justin Houston from a few years ago, right?
Right.
But, and like I said, I think he is coming to the end. I think he's got maybe 2 more years of being useful in the NFL. But right now, he is useful, right? Yeah. And he'll come into Baltimore. And, I mean, I said I think 5 or 6 sacks, playing in that rotation, playing as a pass rush specialist. And people got really mad.
Yeah, listen, man, like, you got to be realistic. What you guys are remembering is 2014 Justin Houston, we had 22 sacks, right? But you haven't really been watching Justin Houston over the years. There's a reason why he's available right now. If he was any resemblance of that guy, he would have been snatched up a long time ago. Okay. Around the same time, JJ Watt was available. JJ Watt wasn't available for long, right? And JJ Watt is declining.
Maybe Baltimore's his best chance at a ring. JJ Watt is just a name now. JJ Watt's a much better player than Justin Houston today.
Okay, JJ Watt's just a name now, but JJ Watt got a lot of money. So
now,
explain.
Obviously, JJ's not the same player that he was either, obviously, but he's a better player today than Justin Houston is.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, Raven Ron?
What's going on? Appreciate you coming through. What did Ingram go for? He went to the Steelers. Should could answer that. I'm not sure how much he got. I think he got more than $1 million. I mean, that's damn near the vet minimum we're talking about.
Thank you.
He's been in facts. We're getting a 10-sack guy, especially. We aren't getting a 10-sack guy, especially in 2021 NFL. No, we're not. And the Ravens aren't looking for that. They don't want to spend money on edge rushers anymore because the league, is changing. The offenses are getting rid of the ball faster to mitigate those fast pass rushers, right? You got teams like the Panthers who don't want to invest in O-line, right? Saying, look, let's
strays for nothing.
Let's just get rid of the ball faster. Okay, I'll take the Panthers back. We got teams like the Steelers who don't want to invest in the O-line, right? Go. Saying, look, just get the ball out of Big Ben's hands faster. I mean, he's a statue now. We know that. We can't protect him. Just tell him to throw the ball faster, and it's efficient enough. and they're realizing they don't have to pay tackles like they used to. And in turn, I think the Ravens were ahead of the game on this. They said we don't really have to pay on edge rushers. We can just blitz. Because y'all think if we get good edge rushers, we're gonna blitz less. And I thought that was understood last year after we got Yannick that we're not gonna blitz less. That's what we like to do here. We like to blitz, and that's not gonna stop no matter who we get.
Yeah, Manuel says Houston is more of a third down guy because he knows he's in the last leg and doesn't have much to offer except experience to the rookies, to a team that can beat Mahomes now. Yes.
Yes. But even the experience to the rookies, like me and B don't believe in veteran players coaching up the young players. We don't really believe that's a thing, or help develop those young players. He's 31 years old. I'm sure he believes he still has something left. He's trying to come here and show that he can earn another bigger or decent contract. He's not here to coach up anybody.
I'm saying old Ben, young Kyler, or MVP quarterback who gives you the best chance to compete. Mind you, J.J. Watt hasn't completed a full season in how long? Yeah, we're not disagreeing that Baltimore is his best chance to win. Absolutely. That's what we're saying, that he got offered more money elsewhere, a little more money elsewhere, and said the Ravens are the best chance to win a Super Bowl, so that's where I'm going to sign.
Well, hold on, Dominic. Why just those three? Why not Tampa Bay? You think Tampa Bay wouldn't take them off for $1 million? You think Kansas City wouldn't take him off for $1 million? Those are his best chances. You think the Bills wouldn't take him off for $1 million? Those are his best chances. Those teams are better than us. Look, the Ravens are still going to be a good team, but there are teams out there that are clearly better than us right now. Mm-hmm. So that if it's just about winning championships, the Ravens aren't at the top of that list.
What's up, Eric?
What's going on, E? Appreciate you coming through. Blitz the most in the league the past 3 years. Yeah, that's not out of necessity. That's out of want.
Yeah, that's by design.
Yes, yeah. That's not going away under Wink. Yes, Living Legend says the same thing. Wink on a blitz. That's his design. Absolutely, absolutely.
Which is why they've invested so heavily.
Hey, Jemiah, man, thank you for coming through, man. Congratulations again, man. Appreciate you.
Man. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Justin Houston is. Yeah, it's 32.
That's why they invested so heavily in corner. You've got one of the best corners in the league in Marlon Humphrey, and I'm going to repeat myself. You got one of the best corners in the league in Marcus Peters. And then they brought back Jimmy Smith. They brought back Tavon Young. They drafted 2 corners. Just in this draft. Obviously, they've drafted other guys recently. And, well, to be fair, 1 corner, 1 safety. We think they're moving Brandon Stevens to safety. But they've invested heavily in that secondary, because they know that they want to play through the secondary. They want guys out there who can cover one-on-one, because they're going to send pressure. They're going to send extra guys very, very often to get that pressure. And this way they don't have to pay $20+ million to, a couple guys on the edge and hope that they can get there in a league where quarterbacks are getting rid of the ball as quickly as they can.
Yeah. I agree. G-Star 007, man, what's going on? Who is QB2? I think it's Huntley. I agree. I think it's Huntley. They're both playing well.
I hope it's Huntley, but I think it'll end up being McSorley, at least initially.
The highlight today, that nice Proche catch that we saw going around Twitter, that was a pass from Huntley, I believe. Mm-hmm. And he made a nice one-handed catch. Of course, it was, he was covered, but it was a nice catch. I see why you guys like Proche. Like, Proche is one of those guys you want to root for, right?
Yeah.
I'm rooting for everybody. I would not mind at all if they kept Proche. I just don't think it's going to happen. Don't misconstrue what I say as me wishing any ill will towards any of these guys. I'm just telling you why I think it's going to happen. And same thing I said about Owe, right? Always looking good in camp. I'm happy. I'm rooting for it, but when games start, I just don't think he's going to do a whole lot.
Jesus, Jonathan. Ferguson got more kids than sacks in the NFL?
Wow.
Is that true? That can't be true.
I don't know. I don't know anything about him. But that's going to change this year. I know that. Yeah. Monty Man.
What's going on? Thanks for coming through.
Jury's still out on the Bucs being better than the Ravens. It's not out. They're the defending Super Bowl champions, and they brought back everybody. They are better.
Like if you want to say that, hey, you think that maybe Brady will take a step back this year because he's 48 or whatever he is, but no, they are the defending champions.
Yeah.
It's sad you got to say that, Jose. We are never trying to talk down on these guys, just giving the truth sometimes. Absolutely.
Man, look, we have some passionate fans in here, and I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate it. But sometimes people think we're hating, and we're not hating. And look, and you guys should not be fighting us on Justin Houston. You should not be fighting us on James Proche. Dude, that's not the battle that you want to pick. Pick your battle sometimes, okay? Well, if Proche makes the team, okay, he's gonna be a healthy scratch every week. Like he's not gonna be a difference maker, and that's okay. We got Bateman for a reason. We got Hollywood for a reason. We picked up Sammy Watkins for a reason. It's fine. All right, Proche is not the savior of this team. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. But but maybe the Ravens just have the best wide receiving core in the league now, a year after having the worst.
Yeah. Well, third worst. Okay.
My bad.
Third worst. And me and B looked it up because we wanted to be fair. Who has a worse wide receiving core than us? It was maybe like 2 teams last year.
Felipe asking, what do we think about the Browns this year? So this will be the last one, then we'll talk about NBA free agency real quick. I think that they have a great roster on paper and that they will not beat any of the top teams in the conference.
I think, okay, yes. But I think just like last year, Ravens, Steelers, Browns all make the playoffs again.
Yeah, I think they have a good shot at making the playoffs. I'm just saying, like, they won't be able to beat Baltimore. They won't beat Buffalo. They won't beat Kansas City. I think they still got the a little bit of the little brother mentality going on.
I agree, but they're a playoff team for sure.
Maybe it's gonna be really tough. They're certainly good enough to make the playoffs.
Well, extra team makes the playoff this year. I think they're in.
Well, no, the extra team made it. That started last year, and it was really tight. A 10-win team missed it last year, and I expect there to be even more competition. I think the Chargers will be in the mix at least for a while. The Patriots will be in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
I think Miami
Dolphins
will be there again. Yeah. So I think it's going to be really, really tough.
Yeah. True. That's true. All right. It is time to talk, man. We should be in bonus time right now. We're giving you a little bonus right now, but we want to talk some NBA free agency, and then we'll do some bonus time. And then after the bonus time, we will do some overtime. And if you want to be part of overtime, patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right. That's the link. We're going to talk some Giants because Giants and what did you request, Ferris? You want us to talk about Jordan Hicks?
Jordan Hicks.
Yes. Okay, we're going to discuss some Jordan Hicks. If you guys don't know about Jordan Hicks, he was told immediately after Zaven Collins was drafted that he cannot compete for the starting job. Like he's not going to be the starter no matter what.
He's been the starter there the last couple of years. He's struggled quite a bit, but he was good in Philly. Signed a big contract in Arizona, struggled the first couple of years. So they went out and they drafted Zaven Collins in the first round and immediately called him and told him, you are not going to be able to compete for the starting job. Not that, he's won it and so you're going to be our backup, but that he doesn't even have a chance to compete for the starting job, at which point he requested a trade. They gave him permission to go ahead and seek a trade, but obviously that hasn't happened.
I love when teams do that, by the way. It's like, go on. Find out that nobody wants you. Go ahead. Go on. And then when you find out nobody wants you, I'll see you at practice.
Right. No hard feelings. I won't ever bring it up again. But this is allegedly the second. This we know is true, but allegedly, Chandler Jones also wants out because of his contract, and we talked about that previously. I don't like it, man. I don't like teams drafting players and then immediately telling guys on the team you can't even compete for this spot.
But okay, all right, that's enough of that. You teased it a little bit. We're gonna save the rest for overtime. That's for patrons. That's a patron talk right there. Okay, we're gonna get into that whole thing. All right, but now it's time for some NBA talk, and then we'll get into some bonus time right after that. But NBA free agency was the other day, and a lot of moves were made. And for those of you who don't watch the NBA in here, look, NFL's free agency is huge because it feels like every move can greatly affect your team, right? The NBA free agency doesn't get as much coverage because look, football is just a bigger sport. It's a bigger sport, But man, NBA free agency always feels like Christmas, right? Like it feels like Christmas, like when you watch your kids open up gifts, man, because there's so many people just made. Like you want to talk about generational wealth?
Yeah.
You want to talk about generational wealth, man? I just talked about Justin Houston getting a $1 million deal. JJ Watt getting $23 million guaranteed. That's pretty good, right? What was Doug McDermott's contract?
Man, I don't remember the exact numbers.
I believe it was like 60 or 70 mil.
I know that Duncan Robinson got a $90 million deal, making $18 million a year.
Yes, Duncan Robinson, who is not, never has been the superstar that JJ Watt has been.
Yeah.
Good player, good
shooter.
But not on that level. Is making 4 times as much as JJ Watt. Okay. He's making 9 times as much as Justin Houston.
Yeah.
Keeping it real, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, man. Hey, I promise you, the next time we talk NBA, man, we're going to bring you on. We are going to bring you on. We got to discuss some NBA. Keeping it real is a big NBA fan as well. And we got to get you on the show, brother. We're going to do that soon. Yes, Mikey, dudes are getting paid. And I love seeing athletes get paid, man. And I wish NFL players should be getting paid the most money out of every sport because it's the most popular sport and it's the most violent sport. And they put their body through hell and they deserve more. And it sucks. I hate seeing them get these deals. I mean, look, yes, they're $1 million deals, but man, it's like the number that you see in the NBA is the real number. Like Duncan Robinson is getting all of that $90 million unless he opts out, unless he chooses, I'm going to not get paid this so I can go get some more money. That's his money. In the NFL, you got to do some digging, some researching, some investigating to see what they're really getting paid because the number reported is not the number that they're getting.
Right.
With that being said,
with all that said, the Lakers won free agency. I wasn't a big fan of a big fan of the Russell Westbrook trade because he can't shoot. But then they went out and signed 4 guys who shot over 40% from 3 last year, and a couple more who shot in the mid to high 30s. They went out, they got Melo, they got Wayne Ellington, they got Kent Bazemore, they got Malik Monk, they got Kendrick Nunn, they got Trevor Ariza. I believe there may have been 1 or 2 other guys, but they got Dwight Howard. They filled out the roster very nicely. A lot of, yes, as the chat is saying, a lot of older gentlemen, but that is how you win in the NBA. You get some star players and you surround them with experienced vets. You do not win with guys in their early to mid 20s. You don't do it.
Yeah. It's not young boys don't win championships, right? Not a team of young boys. You can have a young guy here and there, but like that's a grown man's game all the way through. And with LeBron's doing, yes, it's funny, and people are gonna be making fun of them throughout the whole offseason because they're gonna be taking breaks. They're not gonna be playing 82 games, right? That's not gonna happen, and they'll be middle of the pack for most of the season. And then when they get to the playoffs, they are going to run through those teams, right? Yeah. As long the point of those teams assembled like that is just to get to the postseason healthy, and then they can go out there and ball out, and they will. So, they made some good moves. My Nets, we didn't need to make a whole lot of moves, but we still made one. We made 2. James Johnson, right, solid veteran to come off the bench, nothing special there, but Patty Mills. Oh yeah. I like James Johnson too. He's a solid veteran, and especially if you're talking about just a rotational big man, that ain't bad. Patty Mills, you got another shooter, right? A good solid point guard to come off the bench. Spencer Dinwiddie, he left for the Wizards. Shout out to Deshaun. I want to see what he thinks about that later on. So
Deshaun ain't no Wizards fan no more.
Attitude Pop says, Jose, it's over for the league, and you and the Nets remember this. Okay. All right. Well, we'll remember. I don't know if your old guys will remember. The Bulls had a great free agency too.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes. I do believe that they had a great run with bringing in DeMar DeRozan, trading for Lonzo Ball to add him to Zach LaVine and Vucevic, who they picked up in a trade last season. So really like what they're doing. Yes, and the Knicks did very well in free agency, picking up Kemba Walker. I'm not sure if that's official yet, but yeah, they're getting Kemba Walker. They got Evan Fournier. They brought back a few of their own guys, and Nerlens Noel, Alec Burks. I believe there was one other one, but they did a good job. They were a playoff team. They brought their guys back, and they got Kemba Walker to kind of upgrade. Even Evan Fournier was a little bit of an upgrade on Reggie Bullock. So like what they're doing. I mean, they're not a team that's going to be competing, but what they're doing right now is they're kind of establishing themselves as an NBA.
As a playoff team, as a perennial playoff team,
but not being kind of a laughing stock or a joke or anything. Yeah, you want to get a few years in the playoffs, get the fans outside of New York back, and then you can start convincing top tier players to come to the Garden. So I like what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Felipe wants to know, what about his Jazz?
No,
I didn't see any moves from the Jazz.
They brought in, I want to say it was Hassan Whiteside. They brought in another center. Maybe it wasn't Whiteside.
So Mikey wants to know if we're feeling what the Heat did. I like it a little bit more than B does. But I like the moves. They brought in Kyle Lowry. They brought back Victor Oladipo. They didn't bring back
Kendrick Nunn. They let him walk.
He's
a Laker now.
Yeah, that one, I was a head scratcher. They gave Jimmy Butler, what was his deal? It was over $200 million, right?
Yeah, I think he got a max. But I don't like what they're doing just because I think that they're kind of putting together a grindhouse type team. We're gonna defense you to death. And they're fun to watch and everything. But you were in the finals a year ago, and it seems like you're going in the opposite direction.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I like the way they're set up, man. I think they'll be fun to watch. The playoffs next year is going to be very fun to watch.
Yeah.
And we talked about the Bulls. Did we talk about what they got?
Yeah, DeRozan. They added Lonzo Ball in a sign and trade. They had Vucevic, who they traded for midseason. So I like what they're doing as well. Not a lot of big surprises or anything this year. There weren't a lot of big names left or hitting free agency. Trying to say the Pelicans are losing Zion. I I think they should have kept Lonzo, but I did like them getting Devontae Graham, trading for Valanciunas. I like those moves. That brings more shooting. I think they'll be all right, but it's going to depend on what they can do in terms of replacing Lonzo over the next couple of years.
Ferris doesn't know what he's watching right now. He's confused because you're speaking nicely about the Knicks. Look, we call it like we see it, man. We're not haters. We call it like we see it. I think Kemba Walker was a good move.
Yeah.
That was a good move. All right. But we're just not going to do the New York thing and say, we're going to the finals. Lock it down. We were 4 seed last year. Tell me we're not 2nd seed this year. Jonathan says, I'm going to be honest. I know after last season they had to do it, but CP3, 4 years, 120 mil is a lot in my opinion. I mean, he's going to be 40. Look, guys, we just talked about aging players. We talked about Justin Houston. This is exactly what I'm talking about. We talked about Justin Houston. Oh, there he goes. Go ahead. Oh, look, see? Look. I got you on tape, Brandon. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. Justin Houston, 32 years old, had 8 sacks last year. Solid, right? $1 million deal, up to $4 million. J.J. Watt had 5 sacks last year, right? Yeah. I think he had like 5 sacks. He had, I think his total deal is 2 years, 23 million guaranteed. All right. I'm not sure how old J.J. Watt is, but CP3 just opted out of a deal that's going to pay him $44 million this year.
Yeah.
He's going to get paid $44 million this year. His deal this year is more than those two players combined.
Right.
Okay. Twice as much as those two players combined. Okay. And he said, I don't want that deal. Give me another one. And they said, okay, 4 years, $120 million. And by the time that deal is up, he will be 40 years old. And there is no cutting him. There's no, hey, we want to cut you later
You
to
can cut him. You just got to give him his money.
You just got to pay him. Yeah. That all that goes into his pocket. Man, I love the NBA. And the moral of the story is, kids, don't play football. Watch football, don't play football.
like Ferris is pointing out, there are still some names out there. Kawhi Leonard has not signed back with the Clippers yet. Everybody expects him to re-sign with the Clippers, but that hasn't happened. Dennis Schroeder is still out there. I think that the Lakers may still be exploring a possible sign and trade with him, or maybe he's just sifting through offers or whatever. So I mean, there's still some news to come, but for the most part, I think the only real big news that's left in the NBA is, does Ben Simmons get traded? Because the Sixers do not sound like they are living in reality.
Yeah. Look, man, don't be one of those teams that holds on to a player for too long, and then it's already
it's the Lake Show.
Yeah. B's a Lakers fan. I'm a Nets fan. I think they've already reached that threshold, right? Where they held on to Ben Simmons for too long. They should have traded him last year. And now, his value is shot, and I don't see the only way his value can go back up is if they keep him for the whole year and he plays better in the playoffs. He hits some clutch shots. He just looks better overall. And they say, okay, well, whatever his issue was last year, he got over that, and he's an excellent player. He is an excellent player. Mm-hmm. He's a good player. He just, I don't know, man.
But at that point, they won't want to trade him. So
right. Well, yeah. That's the thing. So they're stuck. They're gonna have to take whatever they can get. The longer they hold on to him, the harder it's going to be to trade him.
Correct.
So, what's this I'm hearing? Leonard may miss the entire season. Who, Kawhi? His knee issue or whatever they called it. They didn't want to call it a ACL. And you know what? If it is an ACL tear, right? Because it did happen late, he could miss.
They said it was a partial ACL tear.
Okay.
So I would expect that he'll be back. Not for the start of the season, maybe, but I would expect him to be there.
Yo, what if Kawhi just left?
He should.
What if he just I don't want to go back there?
Listen, sign and trade Dennis Schroeder. Get it done.
Yeah. He says 10 months. It could be up to 10 months. Yeah. But that team is good enough to make the playoffs without him.
Yeah, they are. They're not good enough to do anything in the playoffs without him, though.
All right. Let's do a quick bonus time because we're already over. Mm-hmm. We'll do a quick bonus time. We'll spend a few minutes, guys, talking about whatever you want, and then we are going to get the overtime show started. Yeah. And if you want to be a part of the overtime show, man, we talk about anything and everything. Okay. Right above me, patreon.com/LBHT show. That's how you sign up. All right. Let's see. Jason really says the Knicks are the Cowboys of the NBA.
Well, Jonathan said that. He's just agreeing with him.
Oh, okay. All right. Caleb would ask you what's wrong with that.
Caleb will fight you while he's asking you that.
Yeah.
Too much pressure.
Too much pressure for PG-13.
I think so. He kind of rose above it a little bit this year, and they weren't good enough in the end to beat Phoenix. But yeah, without Kawhi there, that's not a team that we're really talking about in terms of the championship.
Yeah. So,
do you guys think the Warriors have another playoff run in them to get back to the finals with Steph, Clay, and Dre all healthy? All healthy, sure. I think it would be very, very tough for them to get past the Lakers, but they can do it. The question is,
who did they draft this year?
Are they going to stay healthy? I don't remember who they got. They had the 7th and 14th picks. I cannot remember who they got.
Here's what I think is going to happen with them. Yes, they could be the one team that could give the Lakers some problems, man. Because yes, if they're fully healthy, just them alone are dangerous, right? The Splash Brothers are dangerous, and you have Wiseman, who he was solid as a rookie. I'm assuming he'll get better, but I think what's going to happen is by the trade deadline, Wiseman and if those other rookies are anything, they'll package those guys. Huh?
And Wiggins.
Yeah, he's there. I think you'll see them package a lot of those guys for somebody. Bradley Beal didn't go anywhere.
Pick. And Paris says Moses Moody, the power forward from the G League Ignite. Or shooting guard from Arkansas, sorry.
So
Jason asked him, would I wear a hat and hoodie outside, or is it just for inside? It's just for the show. This is all merch, man.
Yeah, man.
It's comfortable and it looks great.
It's our work clothes, okay? It's our work clothes. Plus, it is cold in his basement, so yeah, he is comfortable. Trust me, he's not sweating. But maybe you should purchase some summer gear, man. Show off some of the summer stuff. All right, show a T-shirt or something. Get the cap. All right, change it up a bit. B, if you guys want B to change it up a bit,
what? Why is this?
Put it in the comment.
Why is this? I do want to mention before we get out of here, the fantasy football league is actually full now. So if you're signed up, we do have a poll up on Patreon. Go hit up the poll and let us know when you would want to have the draft. We've got several dates available. So we need some votes on there. We want to get the draft date set so that we can open up draft pick trading. Then we'll have the draft, and we'll have about a week of being able to make trades with other teams before the start of the season.
Yeah. Dominic likes what we're saying about the Warriors. He's a Warriors fan. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Connor says, hit that like. Yes, hit the like. Stellan says, real quick, B, how do you keep that hoodie and hat so white? Because he doesn't go anywhere with it. It's just for the show. Yeah, his room is dirty.
Our clothes don't get dirty.
That's right. That's right. So you can just walk around and dirt just stays away from it. It's like, oh, it's LBHT, man. We can't get that dirty. Okay. Which league did you join? Living Legend? You don't know what you joined?
You are part of the NFL Survivor Pool. I sent you a direct message on Patreon with the link to the Fantasy Football League. You did not sign up, my man.
He's not in the league?
He is not.
The league is full?
There is currently one spot still open, but our dad wants to play.
He's also a patron.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Living Legend, man. Look, so here's the thing. We're only planning on doing one league right now. But it is August 4th. The season starts
Survivor Pool.
The season
starts September 9th.
If we have a surge of patrons that sign up between now and then, we could get another league started up. So, I mean, if you got some friends that got $10 to kick out for a few months, all right, let them know. Let them know. And we'll order another championship belt for that league. In fact, we can set it. We can have maybe like we want to do like another 16 team league or 12 team. What was it? 16 teams?
Well, it's just going to depend on if there's interest. Right now we have a 16 team league. So that's what we're rolling with. Also, just to mention on our member stream, we are going to have a little lottery to determine the draft order. So we'll do a little reveal on our patron only stream. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there in case anybody's listening who has not gone and voted in the poll yet.
Aggie Pop says, yes, he is. I told you, Jose, Miles Boykin is over. He trash. Okay. All right, man. We'll see. All right. Like, so what? Like, I don't remember ever defending Boykin. If you're talking about Proche, we're not gonna keep fighting about it. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, LBHT crew, what's going on? B, what's going on? That's right. Fire intro. I appreciate that, man. I'm glad you like the intro. All right. Mike said he's gonna win for Living Legend. He's gonna dedicate that belt for you, Living Legend.
Raven Ron said, was it a smart move to bring back Dwight Howard? What value does Marc Gasol still have? I love bringing back Dwight Howard. I didn't think they should have let him go when they did. So I love.
He didn't think so either.
Back. Yeah, Dwight did not think so. Dwight thought he was back. Marc Gasol, man, I'm not sure if he's got anything at all left. I mean, obviously, shooters can always shoot, right? Like he can still shoot the ball, but he is past it. I think he's not going to get a whole lot of play time.
Yeah. All right.
They switched their focus from bigs and defense over to shooting, and they're better for it.
Yeah. All right. We'll do one or two more comments, get them in real quick, and then we will be going over to the overtime show because we're already like 25 minutes over. Gasol is a good facilitator. Yep.
That's true, but you got to be on the court to facilitate, and he's not going to be on the court. I don't think he is. I don't think so.
On a scale of 1 to 10, B, how injury prone is AD?
That's rude, Jason. All right. I mean, obviously the answer is like 8 or 9, but I don't know why we got LeBron and Westbrook and a bunch of good role players. It don't matter. It's fine. Okay.
Mikey wants to know what your thoughts are on Drummond to the Sixers.
I mean,
that's solid.
Sucks for y'all, I guess.
No, that's a solid move. That's a solid move. I'm not mad at that move.
Listen, I'm not mad at the move of bringing in Andre Drummond in and of itself, but it's much like Utah, right? Utah brought in, like I said, I believe it was Hassan Whiteside. Okay, but that's not where your focus should be. You needed to go and get a running mate for Donovan Mitchell, and you didn't do it. Philly, you need to be focused on getting rid of Ben Simmons and and Tobias Harris, mind you, but bringing in somebody else who can score, and you didn't do it. You brought in Andre Drummond.
Yeah, yeah. Jonathan Washington says Danny Green's going to sign. He's going to get his redemption. Danny Green, listen, it's the combination of the rings that he's collected and the money bags he has to carry. His arms are tired. Okay, he can't shoot any more threes. He is done. He's done. All right. He's had a great career, man. Yeah. Personally, anyway. Salute to Danny Green. But I think that's it for him.
You know what? Like, y'all get all your jokes. It's funny. It's funny, right? Get all your jokes off because you ain't gonna be laughing come next July. All right.
All right. Yeah, Dinwiddie to the Wizards. It's a move.
It is a move. That is correct.
It does. They're not any better than they were last year. In fact, they're probably worse.
In fact worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not great.
Yeah. So
good for Spencer though. Good for him.
Good for him. All right. That's it, guys. We are 27 minutes over. If you want some more content, you want to hang out for a little bit longer, go right above me, patreon.com/LBHT Show. Here we go. Here we go, Ferris.
I'll be celebrating Brooklyn. We don't celebrate second place.
Yeah. No, we don't. That's why we taking it all. That's what I'm talking about, Tony Hendo. That's what I'm talking about. Tomorrow, there is there's football. There's football. I'm not saying we stream or anything like that. I'm not saying that. Okay. I'm just saying if something pops up, just keep notifications on. Keep it. In fact, this is a good time. While we have 34 people in here, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. You guys know we have a website, lbhtshow.com, right? It's not just for our shop. We actually put content on there. We put podcasts. We're going to start putting our videos up on there as well. At some point in the future, you can also watch the live stream on the website. But when you go to the website, there'll be a prompt to sign up for it'll say sign up for a newsletter. We don't actually send a newsletter, not on a weekly basis. We don't spam you, but we're trying to build our email list, right? We want you guys to, whatever email you got, create an email, whatever, make one, sign up to the email list. So if for whatever reason we have something coming up last minute, we can send it out to you guys and you guys will get that info. Also, follow us. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. We post stuff on there as well. So that way you don't miss anything. All right. And as always, man, we appreciate you guys. B, you got any anything you want to say before you sign off?
Just some news that came through about an hour ago. Giants tight end Levine Toilolo tore his Achilles at practice today and is missing the season.
Ouch.
Things aren't going well in New York, man.
They already had 2 guys retire, or some might say just quit on Joe Judge. We're going to talk about that in the overtime show coming up right now. All right, guys. Love y'all. Be safe. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Peace out.